Hi guys, welcome back to Just an Ordinary Girl. Today I'm coming to you with a recipe that I found out of this here cookbook. It's a very old cookbook, but it is a recipe that I want to try. It is for a fruit cake. Now, I did have to do some adaptations because that recipe was not vegan, and I'm making it vegan. And the reason I want to make this recipe is because many years my mom would always order her own fruit cake from the stores and stuff. And well, number one, a lot of them aren't vegan, and number two, a lot of them it has a lot of garbage and a lot of crap in it, so it's not healthy and stuff. So I'm making this as a healthy fruit cake that anybody could enjoy for the holidays. Okay guys, so I wrote here down in my notepad the ingredients. I will be putting them into the description as well, but you can stop this video and screenshot it if you want. All my ingredients are all measured out and weighed properly. So here we have the 3 cups of flour, and we're starting up at the top here. 3 cups of flour, and then we have 1 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to show you the ingredients first. 3 tablespoons of applesauce. We have the 1 tablespoon of the active yeast and 3 tablespoons of the maple syrup. This will be your flour portion. And then for the second portion, this will be, I have 2 cups of chopped, these are softened dates. I just put water on them, let it sit for about a half hour, and then dump the water off. This is 1.5 cups of raisins. Here we have nuts. So in the thing she had walnuts or almonds or pecans, or you could use 2 kinds. So what I did was I chopped up some almonds and some walnuts. Coriander was mentioned as optional, but I'm going to use that. And then in this little thing, I measured out. So the recipe here calls for 1/4 teaspoon of almonds or 1 teaspoon of vanilla. But what I did was I did almost a whole teaspoon of vanilla, but I left about this much and I put in some almond extract. Here we have, this is orange juice to replace the orange rind because I didn't have rind. So I'm going to use the juice. And here we have some lemon rind. We have some more maple syrup. We have apples, so they wanted 3 apples chopped, but I'm leaving them like this until I'm ready for them because otherwise they just turn brown. That probably doesn't matter, but I just kind of wanted them to look nice for the video mainly. So, okay, so what we're going to do and what it says to do. So I needed 1 cup hot water. I didn't do that yet because, of this, but we're going to put, okay, so I'm putting the hot water into the thing. I don't want to kill my yeast, so we're just going to do that. And we're going to do the maple syrup. We can actually even do the applesauce now. I want to do that now too. I'm just going to stir this up a little bit. And I'm also going to add the salt. I'm going to add the flour in a little tiny bit. I'm putting the salt in there. Now I'm just going to let this sit. So I have the stove turned on already, the oven I mean, and it's on 325. I'm just going to leave this in here for a few minutes, not too long, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the flour. Okay, I didn't leave it sit very long. I left it just sit about a couple of minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put in all the flour. Okay, make sure you have clean hands and that you've gotten rid of your rings or whatever. I'm going to just start mixing with my hands. Hopefully you can see this. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day. Christmas is upon us. Today, what is today? I don't even know what day it is. Half the time my days run in together. So So now I'm getting a nice ball here. And all it says to do is to mix and knead. I forgot I needed a little bit of extra flour to put on my working space. Okay, so I just threw some flour down here on my table, and I'm just going to bring this out. The dough is kind of sticky right now, which is okay. And now I'm just going to start working the dough. Now, I've never made this before, but like I said earlier, that my mother used to love fruitcakes. I mean, she used to go and buy them. I don't know if they were Edmonds. I want to say they were Edmonds. And I'm not dogging them. I mean, I never liked fruitcake, but she loved it. But when you read the ingredients, a lot of times they aren't the healthiest things, you know. They're using all the candied fruit and things like that. You don't know what they put in them. So I always enjoy baking my own stuff from scratch. So I know exactly what's going in to everything that I'm baking. Just keep working the dough. We're just going to knead this dough until it's soft, but not sticky. So this cookbook I found is a very good cookbook. I got it, I think it's my local library, but I had seen it in the past. I've seen it around, and I was like, oh, I want to see the recipes inside. And some of them are very good. I mean, back in that day and era, I think those were in the 70s. That's probably when, I'm not quite sure, but I'm thinking that's probably when a vegetarian came about, because a lot of her recipes in this book is vegetarian. So in other words, they'll eat the eggs and the dairy part, but they do without meat. And sometimes the recipes were totally without any, totally vegan, which we are. So vegan, if you don't know and you're new to my channel, basically is what how we eat is we eat everything except for meat of any type, fish, like chicken, poultry. We don't eat any of that. We don't eat any cheeses or any dairy. So basically we just do like lentils and pasta and potatoes, lots of potatoes, beans, lots of fresh fruits and veggies. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am a little overweight and there's a reason for that. It's not so much, I don't think, the diet, because when we first went from being a meat eater into a vegan diet, I had lost quite a lot of weight. I was down to like 118 pounds, and I maintained that. I lost most of the weight just through the diet alone, and then the other portion of it was because I used to ride a bicycle all the time and go on lots of walks and just do whatever I could do. But so basically I have a foot disease, and that disease has really taken a hold of my feet, and so it slowed me way down. So basically now all I do is eat and nothing else. So just recently I got a little exercise machine, and I've been working out on that now regularly. Every morning I do some cardio, and then I have two machines. So I have one that kind of goes like this, and then, which I unboxed recently, it's an air walker. And then the other machine, you pull forward, and it's for like your abs and things and your legs. And I've been doing my own floor routine where I do sit-ups and crunches and things like that. So for this holiday season, for this Christmas, which is almost approaching, I thought, oh, I'm not going to bake anything. I'm not going to bake any sweets or anything. But then I started thinking about how my mom loved bread. And I thought, oh, this fruit cake, and I said to my husband, do you think you'd like a fruit cake? And he said, oh, yeah. Well, he never liked it. I said, neither did I, but I want to try it. So that's where we are today. So I'm not going to be doing much baking. I do have some cookies left over in my freezer from Thanksgiving. I made pumpkin cookies. Most of our cookies are, is pretty good because all it has in it is sugar. And the doctor we follow used to say, well, the sugar won't rot your teeth. I mean, the sugar will rot your teeth, but it doesn't usually hurt you. So kind of that's kind of the reason why I've gained so much weight and I haven't been able to lose it. It's all because of my foot disease, I believe. And I started having heartburn pretty bad, and I'm on medication for that. And it's really not a long-term medication, but I'm kind of afraid to go off of it now that I've been on it for so long, and it's been doing wonders. So that's another reason why I've gained so much weight on this diet. But normally, like my husband, he's not gained any weight, not put anything on, because we eat the same exact things. So like I said, there was reasons for mine, and those are the reasons. Okay, anyways, this bread seems like it's pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is just do this. I'm going to put it back into the bowl, and I'm going to let this sit for an hour, hour and a half, till it's double in size. Okay, guys, so I had a tea towel on here. This here's been sitting a little longer than I wanted because I had to go grocery shopping. But it's been sitting for about over almost 2 hours. A little over an hour, I guess. Or close to 2. But it's nice and proofed anyways. So what we're going to do is we're going to start adding all the ingredients. And then we're going to squeeze it with our hands. So there's my 3 chopped apples. These are Macintosh. There's my dates. I'm just doing mine this way. I don't know if this is how you're supposed to do it, but I never made this. There's my raisins. And my nuts. There's my orange juice. This is the flavoring. And the lemon. And this is the maple syrup. Once this gets in here, now the fun part begins. Okay. The object is to try to get everything inside this dough without things falling out. I don't know how that's going to happen, but we shall see together. It's one thing about baking, you can never, well, you can mess it up, but sometimes it's just a lot of fun trying. This is supposed to make 2 loaves, so we'll see. For the pans, I use just regular loaf pan. And I use parchment paper. So that started the whole business of me leaving, because I needed parchment paper. And then for Christmas, I decided to go very untraditional, and I'm just gonna make lasagna. If you guys want to know how to make it, it's on my channel. It was one of the first few videos I made, but I'm using that same recipe because it's a good one. We love it here. I have 2 parts on it. So I have the first part is how to make the lasagna, and then the second part is how to make the topping for it. It's a cashew cheese topping. And basically you use, I'm trying to think what it's called. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Let me think about that a minute. Lentils. Lentils, yes. And tofu. But it's delicious, and it's so good. Let me show you what I got so far. Doesn't that look good? This reminds me of a dough that I made using another recipe that I have here. It's out of a little muffin booklet that I got a long time ago. But it's like you do the same thing, except for it's not exactly the same. But you make like a dough, and then you shove apples in it, and then I could throw it in my air fryer for to make apple fritters. That recipe is also up on my channel. Just type in "just an ordinary girl apple fritters" and you should find that recipe too. That I just, like I said, made with my air fryer though. So yeah, I see these are starting to, you know, hold together nicely. Oh, that arm's getting tired, so we'll try this one. Just keep folding it in, guys. That's how you do it. Looks like there will be more insides than outsides, but I don't think so. Once we bake it, I bet you it's gonna be delicious. This is fun. Something you tell your kids when they're little, right? If you say, "Oh, here's some dough, and you can do something, whatever you want to do with it," and then it's like a little kid, you know. They're having a good time making stuff out of Play-Doh. I remember I used to love it. When I was a kid. Another thing we used to love to do was play McDonald's. So it would be, my mom, she was a hoarder, boy. She saved up a lot of things, and she used to save McDonald's containers, and she'd tell me and the neighbor kids, "Oh, why don't you guys go play McDonald's?" I guess she got tired of hearing us yelling. And she pulled out all these little empty, she had the empty glasses that she, you know, that you drink out of. She washed everything. She had like the Big Mac containers and the little French fry containers, and she saved that. Instead of going out and buying something for us to play with, she would recycle, and she wash it, and we'd clean. We didn't know any different, you know. We're kids, and we loved it. We put all that stuff out on our old picnic table, and we sure did have a good time. Well, you see now when I'm folding it, everything seems to be holding together nicely. So I think we're at the point where I can go ahead and attempt to put some of this in those loaf pans. Okay, let me wash my hands here. I remember the old fruit cakes they used to make that would take sometimes up to 10 days before it was actually made or was actually ready to eat. I guess that's because they put in alcohol, but we're not doing that. So here's my pans. I got the parchment paper in them. And let's see. Put all this into the sink. I have to bake so late because I don't have any freezer space. And I told my husband, I don't know what to do. I want to bake something for Christmas, you know. So this is how I have to do it. I'm just going to dig some out. Like, I don't know how else to do it. Just going to put a little in each pan. And I'm pushing it down. This kind of reminds me of the old banana breads that I made. And I'm going to put some in this pan. I didn't think there'd be enough dough for both, but with all the added fruit, yeah. Huh. That's about all I have left. This pan looks like it needs it more than the other pan. And we don't want to skip out on any of that dough. Now this doesn't stop here because you still have to proof this. So I have had my oven on for quite some time. I didn't even shut it off when I went grocery shopping. I just left it on because I wanted to make sure that it stayed nice and a consistent temperature. Our kitchen is a little cold today, so even waiting that extra time was fine. It didn't hurt anything with the bread dough. Ew. It's a sticky dough once you get everything put in there. But it sure does look yummy. I like a doughy bread though. I hope this is doughy enough for my liking. They don't quite look even enough for me. I might take a little tiny bit out of there and put into the other one. I'm not quite sure yet. I kind of wanted to have them even. I'm going to have to cut some of this off because that's a pet peeve I don't like. Some people just leave it, but I don't like having all this extra hanging over. So I just chop it off. Plus, I always worry it might catch fire in your oven. So let me know, guys, if you have ever made fruit cake before. Let's see. I mean, it doesn't look too bad as far as the evenness goes, but maybe I will take a little tiny bit out of here and stick on this one. Okay, now we have to cover this, and we're going to let this raise again. And you want it to raise till it comes to the top of the pan, but no more. So what I like to do, now I have this towel here. Let me push you over here a minute. So this is the top of my stove, and it's nice and warm. Actually, it's warmer on this side, so I think I'll put it on this side instead. On this side. So I'm going to put it here, and then I'm going to take my tea towel, and I'm going to just cover it up like that, and let this sit until it raises. Like I said, you want it to come up to here, the top of the pan, and don't go over, because it'll probably continue to raise in the oven. Okay, guys, so I'll time this, let you know how long it takes for me. But again, my house is cold, so it might not take you that long, depending on where you live. And if you're in California, it might be hotter, but it's not here. All right, I'll be back. Okay, guys, this has been 2 hours now. Like I said, our house is very cold. So what I did, and this is my tip, the oven's supposed to be 325, but what I did was I raised the temperature up to 475 degrees, and I left the towel on it, this tea towel, covered it up, and then it took 2 hours, but it was able to raise to the top of the pan. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it in the oven. The reason it takes so long to raise is because the fruit and the nuts weigh it down. So you want to make sure when you're baking this that you give it extra time in your day. Because the first time I told you I went grocery shopping and everything. So that it was approximately 2 hours. And then this time 2 hours. So that's 4 hours of raising time. And especially when your house is cold. So my house is cold because we were using like electric space heaters and stuff. But yeah, so that's all I want to tell you. That's my tip. If your home is cold, to raise the temperature on your oven. All right, guys.
Time to put these bad boys in the oven. "50 minutes later."
They look good. So my timer went off at 45 minutes. And I went ahead and left them in there for about 5 minutes more. So I left them in for about 50 minutes. Until I started to really smell them. And they got a little bit more solid. It was a little too soft at 45 minutes. But now they're perfect. And they look delicious. Okay, guys, so what I did was I just grabbed me a clean baking tray and a cookie pan, you know, that you cooling rack. Now these are still hot. We just took these out of the oven. I'm going to take them out of the pan. Step in here. Just like that. And I got a clean tea towel. And it says you want to wrap them in the clean tea towel so that when they cool, they'll stay moist. Okay, that's all you want to do. I'm going to move this to a cooler section off of my stove. I have a cooler section like on my kitchen table that's cool over there by the window. And that'll work. Okay, guys, it's been another 2 hours. This is finally cool. So, take off the towel here. I'll show you how this looks. What I like about parchment paper, if you've never used it, is it comes off pretty easily without using oils. You don't need to use oils. Of course, most bakers have used parchment paper, I'm sure. That's one. And I'll take this one off. That one come off even a little bit easier. Okay, guys, so here's what they look like on the bottom. They smell very good. We're going to cut one of these bad boys. See what it looks like. I always turn my breads this way, even when I do like banana bread or any type of bread. Here's what the inside looks like. Here's you guys' piece. And while you're testing it, I'm going to taste this side. It's delicious. It's not overly sweet. I'm tasting. Oh, the flavors are delicious. Guys. Look at this. It is delicious. This calls for a good cup of coffee. Well, this is delicious. So hopefully you'll try this recipe. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Love yourself and others. Hit the thumbs ups too. And we'll see you on the next video.
Hit the bell for more.
Bye-bye.